Good day, everyone. Welcome to our reviewed fact section. This moment, I want to answer the question: why is the gradient of two lines said to be said to be equal? I often hear students say if two lines are parallel, their gradients are equal. But why is it so? Briefly, this moment I will be proving this. By the way, this is Gifted Brain aka Saizu, first in Africa, sixth in the world. Actually, you see, let me say we have two lines like this first line, and then this is the second line, for instance. And these two lines are inclined such that they make an angle theta between themselves. And let's say this is the first line, I call line 1, this is the second line, I call line 2. These two lines are inclined at an angle of theta. I can say that the tan of the angle between the two lines is given as m1 minus m2 all over 1 plus m1 m2. This simply means that the angle between these two lines, tan of the angle between these two lines is equal to the difference of the two gradients all over 1 plus the product of the two gradient of the line, where we say m1 is the gradient of line 1, is the gradient of line 1, and m2 is the gradient of line 2 yeah. So that's now, if two lines are parallel, it means that the angle between these two lines is either 0 degree or 180 degree. Because if two lines are parallel, they somewhat look like this. This is what it means for two lines to be parallel, somewhat like this. Or you can say they are like this, or whichever way, but the angle between them must be 0 degree or 180 degree. Again, two lines can be parallel and they are like this, the first line and the second line, just like this. They are still parallel. Yeah, so the angle between this line is just 180 degree. 180 degree. While the angle between these first two I drew was 0 degree. So 0 degree here and 0 degree here. Now, if two lines are parallel to one another, simply for my relationship, I can say that tan 0 degree is equal to m1 minus m2, where m1 is the gradient of the first line and m2 is the gradient of the second line, all over 1 plus m1 m2. But recall that tan 0 degree is equal to 0, so this will give me 0 here, is equal to m1 minus m2 all over 1 plus m1 m2. If I cross multiply this now, I will have that m1 minus m2 multiplied by 1 is equal to 0 multiplied by 1 plus m1 m2. Obviously, everything here will give me 0. So I will have that m1 minus m2 is equal to 0. At the end of the day, I can say that m1 is equal to m2. So I've been able to answer our question. This m1 equal to m2 means that gradient of the first line is equal to gradient of the second line. Again, I want to say, what then happens if the two lines are perpendicular to one another? If two lines are perpendicular, it simply means that the angle between the two lines is 90 degree. These two lines can be like this, the first line, and the second line being like this. Or it can be like this, second line being like this. So the most important thing that the angle between them is just 90 degree. Don't mind my diagram, not so accurate because of what I'm using. So, but the angle between two perpendicular lines is 90 degree. Again, go back to my equation now. Going back to my equation, now we have that tan 90 degree is equal to m1 minus m2 all over 1 plus m1 m2. But briefly take note, tan 90, people say tan 90 is undefined. Well, that is accurate, but again recall that tan 90 is also sin 90 over cos 90. And if that be the case, sin 90 is just 1 and cos 90 is 0, and that's why it is undefined. So I will have that here, that 1 over 0, which is the value of tan 90, is equal to m1 minus m2 all over 1 plus m1 m2. If you cross multiply this now, at the end of the day you will have 1 plus m1 m2 is equal to multiply by 1 is equal to 0 multiplied by m1 minus m2. Eventually I will have everything here giving me 0, so what we now have is 1 plus m1 m2 being equal to 0. So at the end of the day I can say that m1 m2 is equal to minus 1. So this tells us that the product of the gradient of two perpendicular lines is equal to minus 1. Or you can further say that if two lines are perpendicular, their product is minus 1. Or that gradient of the first line is equal to minus 1 all over gradient of the second line. Or again you say gradient of the second line is equal to minus 1 gradient of the first line. So that's that about it. It's quite an easy one actually. So thank you, and then God bless you.